And by the way, when you read the readings of the founders, the judicial branch was intended to be the weakest of the three branches of government. Congress was intended to be the strongest, hence Article 1, then the president, Article 2, then the judicial branch in Article 3. So the Constitution places foreign policy decisions by the president and Congress beyond the scope of review by the courts. That's correct. In 1798, Congress passed the Alien Enemies Act. I've already talked about this. Trump has issued a proclamation under the Alien Enemies Act to remove predatory incursions by a quasi-military arm of the Venezuelan government, Tren de Aragua. Now, any of us might feel free to disagree with the executive branch finding that Tren de Aragua is a quasi-military arm of the Venezuelan government, or that Tren de Aragua is engaged in a predatory incursion of the United States. We're all entitled to have our opinion, but the authority to make that determination for governmental purposes and policy is exclusively within the hands of the Article 2 executive branch president. Whatever power the Article 1 Congress had over that decision-making, it abdicated to the president by passing the Alien Enemies Act. And there is zero role for the judicial branch to have any say in coming to those national security conclusions and foreign policy conclusions. The judicial branch does not engage in politics. The judicial branch is limited to settling disputes of parties before it in explicitly apolitical process. It would be horrific if the judicial branch engaged in politics, which of course it's doing, because the judicial branch is largely unaccountable to the American people. Has been. Lifetime appointments is what we're supposed to believe. Can only be removed by impeachment is what we're supposed to believe. In our entire history, only 8 federal judges have been removed by impeachment. How many hundreds of congressmen and senators have been removed by de-election? And of course, presidents as well. That's what makes the Congress and the executive branch answerable to the will of the American people. They can be de-elected. A much more difficult process when dealing with the judicial branch. All the more reason for them not to be engaged in matters of politics and policy, because they are so removed from being held accountable to the political will of the American people.